play a game?
Why, yes, I believe we shall.
Oh, I got a live one here.
Getting geeky in Little Rock, it's Shane Plays Geek Talk, a journey into the things we love. I'm your host, Shane Stacks. Thanks so much for listening. And this year is the 5th year of what has become an annual tradition on the show. Every January, I get with my friend Dave Elswick of the Dave Elswick Show. He's a radio legend in Little Rock. And we talk movies. We pick our top 5 most anticipated geek movies of the coming year. And then we'll kind of take a brief look at our picks from last year. Now, this year is a little different because many of the movies we picked last year got delayed because of COVID. But we still had a great time. I picked 5 new movies, regardless of whether something had gotten delayed or not. Dave did a little bit different. But anyway, we had a lot of fun. I'm just going to go ahead and get it started. And this year, normally I record the podcast with Dave. But this year we did it on his radio show. And then I've taken the audio and worked it into this podcast. So we kind of did a little bit different, but it's basically still the same show that we've done for the past 5 years. I hope you enjoy.
Stand by lights. Stand by camera. Action.
And he's here. Shane Stacks is back
Dave.
in the studio. It's good to have him here. He came in, which is good, and this is a safe zone. Just so you'll know,
Yeah,
it's a safe zone. You're good.
All right. Well, I got my
There's been a lot of
mask.
people here.
If you want me to put it on and make you feel good.
No, I don't want. I don't want you to sound like this.
The only good thing about the whole COVID thing is
What's
you get
that?
to feel like a railroad bandit.
Everywhere you go.
Yeah. Who'd have
Pull
thought?
up.
Who'd have thought a bank would require you to wear a mask coming in?
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to talk movies today. That's something that Shane and I do every year at the beginning of the year.
5th year in a row, Dave.
Yes, it is. We look at the movies that we're really looking forward to seeing in any given year. This year, of course, 2021. And it's going to be a special year, I believe, because so many movies that were supposed to open last year did not open last year.
And have been pushed
and
back.
now have been pushed to this year.
Right.
And I made a big statement to Shane. I said, I think this will be as big of a year for movies as 1936.
I can confirm you did say that.
I did say it.
You walked in and said that first thing.
I just think so, because I started looking at what's coming that's new, totally new for 2021, and then what is coming in 2021 that was supposed to be here last year. And with that said, let me tell you what one of my biggest disappointments are thus far. Wonder Woman 84.
I was very disappointed. We texted about that a little bit.
Yeah.
That was an honorable mention for you last year.
Yeah, I thought I thought Jenkins was going to do a really good job directing, and it was abysmal.
It was, and it was my number 5 from last year. What we do every year, starting in 2017, is we do our top 5 most anticipated geek movies, and then we pick an honorable mention.
Yep.
Or more than one, because sometimes it's very hard to narrow it down to 5. But yeah, Wonder Woman was my number 5 last year. It was on your honorable mention list. And it was just a mess. The last act it kind of pulled it together to where you had like a solid thread of what was going on. But it was just a mess. I was disappointed. A lot of people were, and I kept saying people, it's not so good. And so Sheila and I watched it. Justice watched it with us. And I was like, it's going to be better than people say. But I was like, it's not bad. It's just a mess.
It's missing something.
Yeah, it's a mess. I feel like, and I don't know this for sure, but my shooting from the hip is that she knocked it out of the park with the first Wonder Woman.
Yep.
So they gave her a little extra control or something. And sometimes directors need a little less freedom. Like George Lucas, whenever he was able to go back and do his special editions and do quote unquote everything he wanted, he made them worse.
Yes, he did.
So sometimes the creative restraints do end up with a better movie. Now, I don't know if this was on Patty Jenkins or if it was the studios meddling. I don't know, but that's my theory.
It wasn't on Gail Gadot, and it was not on Chris Pine. I mean, both of them did fine jobs.
Yeah, it was just bizarre stuff. Like, and I know we got to cover a lot of ground quickly, but Like, here's a perfect example. When Steve Trevor comes back,
Yeah.
she made a wish. Why couldn't he have just popped in instead of like taking over that other guy's life, which led to some really weird stuff?
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, what's going on here? So,
I mean, if you're going to be able to put your imagination out there completely that he could come back.
Right.
You didn't have to put him in the body. You didn't have to have Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Right. Yeah. And then, like, it led to a fun moment at the end, but that could have been done a different way.
Well,
right.
It had a fun moment, but it had a really serious moment at the end, too, which I thought was good.
It was, well, now the one good thing about the movie that I think everyone probably universally liked, well, you saw the mid-credit scene with Linda Carter, right?
Yes.
That was great.
Yeah, well,
that was excellent.
She's coming back.
Yeah.
She's going to be in the next one, evidently.
Yeah, they've
She's
set her up
to.
as the pre-Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Astra or whatever her name is. Yeah. So anyway,
That's pretty cool.
Wonder Woman was a disappointment. And sometimes the middle movies, and then the third
Same way
movie,
with the first 3 Star Wars movies. Middle one was kind of...
What? Empire Strikes Back is the best one?
Nah.
You think? Nah. That's okay. Well, that's generally Empire Strikes Back.
Everybody says that.
Yeah.
But I don't think really anybody believes it.
I believe it. I believe it deep down. Just like I believe in Christmas magic.
There you go. Okay, now before we go on, I got to say one thing that I'm going to turn it over to you to recap.
Yeah.
And that is, Shane is blowing me away today because I'm sitting here across from him looking at him. And he's showing a little bit of his age now. He's got a little bit of gray in his beard. Did you know that you're starting to look like Jerry Garcia?
I've never heard that one before.
I swear to you, you're looking like Jerry Garcia. Well, I'll do this on my Facebook page. I'll have Elizabeth put a picture of Jerry Garcia, and we're going to have. I'm going to take a picture of you here, and I'm going to put them up side by side.
Well, I mean, I'm grateful to not be dead. So I've heard.
Yeah, true.
For years ago, I grew my hair out all crazy and moppish, and I was at Books A Million going through the cashier, and the checkout girl said, "You look like that dude from Lord of the Rings." And I went, "What?" And she goes, "You know, the director guy." She's talking about Peter Jackson. I went to the barber the next day and had all my hair cut off.
Okay.
But speaking of looks, I'm loving the goatee you're rocking.
Yeah.
You look good.
Thank you.
You've lost weight.
I feel good, yeah. Again.
You've lost weight? Yeah.
I went in yesterday, had my yearly physical. Doctor says I'm doing good.
Yeah.
So I'll be around maybe another day.
All right.
Well, that's up to God. That ain't up to me.
You got too much vinegar in you to go anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm kind of sour. I agree. Go ahead.
You ready? How much time we got till break?
I'm looking here. We got about 3 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to give my top 5.
Okay.
And then when we come back from the break, now this is from last year.
Right.
And then when we come back, I'll give yours.
Okay.
And then we'll give our most anticipated.
Okay, here we go.
For the coming year. All right, my top 5 from last year. My honorable mention was Black Widow. And that's because it's the first Marvel Phase 4 movie. So I wanted to see what they're doing with Phase 4.
Okay.
Number 5 is Wonder Woman 1984, which we've already said was a disappointment. 4 is Dune, which has gotten pushed back to this year.
Wait for that movie.
Yeah, Dune's just such a great story. 3 was Bill and Ted Face the Music. That actually did come out this year.
And it did all right.
It was fun. It's what I wanted out of a Bill and Ted. You know, I love Bill and Ted. I'm that generation. Yeah, I mean, I was in high school when the first one came out. In fact, the textbook they were using in the first movie was the same textbook I was using in history class.
Oh, cool.
So that's how connected I am with Bill and Ted. It was a lot of fun. The first Bill and Ted movie was a trip through time.
Right.
The second one was a metaphysical heaven and hell.
Yes.
And then this one was a trip through music. They went through all the different musical they put
genres.
They put the band together. So number 2 course is Godzilla versus Kong, which we're both jazzed on. We'll have to have another non-romantic date and go see that because we went and saw Godzilla.
The problem is that you won't do WWE.
I can't. I'll try.
You're crazy in the
I can't.
theater.
I mean, I hooped, I hollered. I'll try not to. And then number 1, my number 1 most anticipated movie for last year, which got pushed back, was Ghostbusters Afterlife.
See, there's a movie that's not in your top 5 that I'm just going.
From last year?
Well, yeah. I'm just going, what?
Really? From last year?
Yeah, what?
All right.
Okay, that's all right.
All right.
Well, I'll tell you what it is when we come back.
When we come back?
Because
Okay.
it's my number one movie for this year.
For this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one I'm really, Kong and Godzilla are right there in top 3, but this movie is number 1.
Number 1.
All right. When we get back, we'll talk about what my top 5 are. This is a Dave Elswick show. We're doing a podcast with Shane Stacks as well. You'll be able to hear this on his podcast. And where do they go to get that?
Just go to ShanePlays.com. Podcast is Shane Plays Geek Talk.
Okay. That's where you go. Okay. So you left out a movie that I cannot believe that you left out the
From
movie.
my last year's top 5.
Well, from your last year. Well, give me your top 5 for this year.
Well, I like to do the old one
Okay,
at a
because
time.
I'm going to tell you that I'm using several of the movies
And
from last
that's
year.
fine. You can.
Okay.
Well, can I tell people what your top 5 was from last year?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And then I like the old back and forth, and we build up to our number
Okay,
one.
that's fine.
All right. I think I just
This
like
is my show, but it's his show too. So what can I say?
Well, yeah, we're recording this for my podcast. Normally we do this as my podcast.
Yep.
This year we've combined it as an hour.
Live and podcast.
An hour.
This is a big deal, folks.
Which I miss live radio. Eventually, in some form or fashion, I'd like to do live radio again.
Yeah.
I did it for 5 years for my show, and I loved it.
Good stuff.
Love doing it. Anyway, I got to ask, though, before we get back to this. All right, so Heidi, how long have you been here now? About 6 months? May? Because I think you came on about the time my show went off, which was like end of May, right?
She's not hearing us.
She's not hearing us?
She's not hearing us.
All right.
She's not interested in what we're talking about.
Well, I was going to ask
evidently.
her. I was going to ask her if she's got you learned how to keep you in control yet.
Somewhat.
All right.
Somewhat, but not. No one keeps me in control. Anyway, I just look right at the Facebook.
Right at the camera.
There
All right.
you go.
I'll
No
have
one.
all right. Well, I might edit in Heidi's response on the podcast version.
There you
There's no control of Dave. All right. Anyway.
Do it.
Yes. Okay. So your top 5.
Yes.
We do this every year. This is our 5th year doing it. We always get together in January, talk about what our
Had
top
a great
5.
top 5, by the way.
Top 5 most anticipated movies of the year are.
Yes.
Last year, your top 5, many of which have not come out yet because of COVID, the pandemic that ate everything. Your number 5 was Die Another Day, which is going to be Craig's last Bond movie.
Yeah. And it looks awesome. They got the Aston Martin back in it.
Oh, did they? No, I
Yes,
hope
they
it's
do.
got machine guns in the headlights.
It does. It
All
does. But they're different. They're not just 30 cows this time. They're chains.
Nice. That's crazy. Little miniguns in there. All right. Your number 4 was Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
All right. Your number 3 was Dune.
Yes.
Which were both that was my number 4 last year. Number 2 was Tenet.
Yeah.
Did that release
Which
just
I really
before
liked
or
it.
after? Did that release after or before the year? Did it
No,
technically
it came out this year.
Did it come out in January, early January?
It came out. It's a great movie. I love that movie.
I've got a browser tab pulled up to rent it, but I haven't hit rent yet.
Dude,
so,
you got to watch it. It will blow your mind.
well, I'm hearing that it's a Christopher Nolan movie, so it's going to be good, but I'm hearing a lot of people who are big fans of his stuff say it's not their favorite of his.
Interstellar is not my favorite.
Really? I like
Christopher
Interstellar
Nolan.
a lot.
But
Yeah.
this movie I'd rate is one of his top 3.
Okay. I'm still like, what's the Dunkirk?
Yeah. It was
As
a great
much as I
movie.
love sci-fi movies and everything, I loved what he did with Dunkirk.
No.
And I finally saw 1917.
Batman, I mean, come on.
Yeah. His Batman movies are great.
Yeah.
I love his Batman
That trilogy
movies.
was
Yeah.
fantastic.
All right. And then I did finally see 1917. That's not him,
Did you like
but it's a
it?
World War I movie. Yes.
I told you how good it was.
Yeah, it was very good. The way they made it look like one long shot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's very good.
Fantastic.
Okay, and then your number 1 movie from last year for this year was Godzilla vs. Kong,
Yes.
which was my number 2, which we're going to go see. Non-romantic date, I mean.
Platonic.
A platonic date, and I'll try not to hoop and holler like it's the WWE.
When we went and saw Godzilla, it was hilarious.
Can I hoop and holler like it's like East Coast
Yeah,
wrestling?
go ahead. That's fine. That's fine.
And
You
then
can
your
do that.
honorable mentions were A Quiet Place 2, Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Yep.
That almost made my top 5 for this year. Wonder Woman 1984, which we've already said we were disappointed with, and Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
And your dark horse was West Side Story, which has not come out yet.
Coming out this year.
Steven Spielberg doing a musical.
I'm looking forward to that.
That's this year's big Christmas movie.
Yeah,
for
I'm looking
Disney.
forward to it. I'm kind of I'm a sap for musicals. I like musicals. I sat down. My all-time favorite music is Cabaret.
I've never seen Cabaret.
Such a dark subject.
I'll check it out.
Nazi Germany, as Nazism is rising.
So it's like a cabaret in Nazi Germany?
And then the whole thing about, the Holocaust.
Sure.
And all of that, and abortion and everything else that's brought up in that movie.
Really? I'll check it out.
It's a great movie.
My personal favorite musical is Fiddler on the Roof.
That's a great movie,
Love
too.
Fiddler on the Roof.
That probably would be number 2 for me.
Would it?
Yeah.
And Sheila and I finally watched Hamilton, and I did like Hamilton.
It's okay.
It's technically executed well. There's a lot of catchy stuff. It was not. I was expecting a lot of
SJW.
Yeah, just in your face. It really wasn't. I thought it was good. Now it had a R&B flavor,
which is fine.
But it was not a bunch of just yelling about how colonists are bad.
Well, I got to tell you, the song they should have used in that movie, was "Fight the Powers That Be." They should have had the Isley Brothers.
That'd have been good if they had rolled that in there.
I would have loved that.
All right, let's see if we got time to get our number 5s from this year in.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and go first.
Okay.
My number 5 for this year is Candyman, which should be coming out August 27th, 2021.
I got it as an honorable mention.
Do you got an honorable mention?
Yes, because the Candyman movies are fantastic, and this looks really good.
It's going to be good. I mean, Jordan Peele, I think, makes good movies. Especially Get Out was amazing. And Candyman itself is a really good story.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be. So that's one of your honorable mentions, huh? All right. Well, that'll be out August 20th. Now, Jordan Peele did not direct it, but he wrote it. Yeah, he wrote it and helped make it happen.
That means he put the money up.
Yeah, he threw some money up. Well, I'm sure he had some input, but we'll see. Because that's right down his alley. When, Get Out and, what was the second one? Us, were both about, they have undercurrents of what it's like to be an ethnic. And Candyman is straight up about being an urban decay and all that. Yeah. So
Cabrini Green.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist any longer.
Yeah. It did when they made the first movie, right?
It was there.
So what's your number 5, Dave?
My number 5, F9.
F9, Fast and Furious, number 9.
Juan is just fantastic.
And is this the one where they're in space or on a submarine?
I don't know.
I thought I saw cars on a submarine.
I don't know. I have no idea.
But you just love the movies.
I'm going into this one totally blind.
Now, does this one have The Rock in it? I don't even know what's going on.
No, he's done.
All right.
No, he's done.
He's checked out?
Well, yeah. He and Bloodsport don't get along.
Oh.
Or Bloodspot. Is it Bloodspot?
Oh, you're talking about Vin Diesel?
Yeah, Vin Diesel and him do not get along. By the way, they're making that part 2. That's coming out next year.
Well, the Bloodshot.
Yeah,
where he's got the nanites, so you can't kill him.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Because the first one was such a here's where he came from story.
Yeah.
Right? I'm looking forward to
where he just drops in and starts kicking rear.
Let's do stuff.
Speaking of The Rock, have you been watching The Stand miniseries on CBS All Access?
No, not at all.
Okay. There's a scene in there where this guy collects Blu-rays, and he's all sad. He goes, "Do you think he's still alive?" And the guy's like, "Who?" And he's like, "The Rock, man."
Do they do a big deal with the pyro guy in the movie?
They've introduced him. They kind of have to because he's like.
I would hope they did. They didn't in the movie they made for television.
Yeah,
they kind of
1992 miniseries.
Small part. Yeah.
The thing with Trash Can Man, who's one of the best characters
in the book,
is he's really essential because he's like number 3 in the flag order, right? There's Flagged, and there's Lloyd Henreid, and then there's Trash Can Man. Trash Can Man's the guy that goes out and finds all the stuff. He's got like a supernatural ability to find weapons and stuff. But they've shown him, they've introduced him. Okay. I think, have they? No, they haven't introduced him yet.
Well,
wow,
let's see if they bring him, or is he too violent for them?
If they leave him out, that'd be a real shame.
It'd be really weird. Okay, look, we got news coming up.
All right.
So now F9's my number 5.
F9.
So you're going to get the rest of them when we come back.
Yep.
Here on the Dave Elswick Show. It's great. My good friend Shane Stacks is in studio with me today. Always like to have him here, just like I like having Tim Lim here and Mark Pellegrini and some of the other guys. And we'll get all of these folks back in on more normal basis as COVID-19 gets under control. Here's your news. Okay, so if you just joined us, you're on your way into work or whatever, Shane Stacks is here in the studio with me.
It's me.
Every year we get together. We've been doing this now for 5 years, and we tell you the 5 most anticipated movies we're looking forward to this year. We got you number 5. You said number 5 was what?
My number 5 is the Candyman remake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine is F9, Fast and Furious 9.
Which I'm pretty sure
James Wan is directing again.
I finally remembered, because I remember seeing the trailer where like they had the cars racing on top of a submarine. And I was like, are we out in space? I think the submarine is in space, and they're riding on the top of it.
It's so crazy.
But they're just fun, right?
Yeah, well,
it's just turn it up to 11 and have fun.
It's James Wan, man.
Right.
And he really turns it on. Go ahead.
I'll tell you what, I never seek out the Fast and Furious movies, but anytime they're on, they're so watchable.
Yeah, they're fun.
They're dumb fun.
And they did a great job when they brought Kurt Russell in and is playing the CIA, the no-name guy. Yeah. What is he, Mr. Nobody?
I don't know.
I think it's Mr. Nobody or whatever. It's just great.
It just keeps getting crazier.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's like, let's just throw more budget at it.
Yep.
Okay, so my number 4 movie for 2021, and I didn't give out my criteria yet. Normally what I do, a criteria, it must be a geeky movie. It must be slated to release in 2021. And normally I say I have to want to see it in the theater because I think that's a little extra level of effort. I want to go see. But this year we still don't,
Who knows?
So I'm not making that. And I didn't repeat. If one of my top 5s from last year got delayed to this year, I didn't repeat it. But there's nothing that says you can't do that because I know you have.
I have.
Yeah. All right, my number 4, I didn't even know about this movie until I started researching a couple of days ago for the show, is a movie called Old.
Okay.
It's by M. Night Shyamalan, right? Who I like M. Night's movies. Now, occasionally he misses, but
like
when he's on,
Airbender.
Yeah, but when he's on, he's on.
Yeah, he's good.
Okay, when he's on, like he knocked it out of the park with Glass.
Yeah,
he knocked it out of the park with Split. That trilogy of movies, Unbreakable through Glass, are amazing. Yeah. So Old is, and evidently it's based on a French graphic novel called Sandcastle, which I have not read the graphic novel, but it's about 13 people, if I remember right. Strangers. I think 13 strangers end up spending their entire lives together in one day. Now, I don't know what that means, but there's some sort of supernatural element on it. It comes out July 23rd, 2021. And another interesting thing is they shot it in 35 millimeter, not digital.
That's interesting.
So that's interesting. I love that grainy kind of.
That had to be something for M. Night.
It's a French movie.
He's looking to do it.
Right. You got to do the 35 millimeter.
So he wanted a little new wave look to it.
Yeah. If you can't get Jerry Lewis for the French, the next best thing to do is shoot in an old style.
Kind of hard to get Jerry Lewis now.
Right. So you got to shoot in an old style. Well, you never know with the technology these days.
Yeah, well, that's true.
All right. So that's number 4 is Old by M. Night. What's your number 4 there, Dave?
Halloween Kills.
All right.
I'm looking forward to it. I thought that the reboot that they did, Seth Green, who wrote and directed, and I just can't remember the other guy's name. He's from Eastbound and Down.
I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of his name.
That was involved in this as well. They are big-time, huge Halloween fans. And it was only because they got involved with this and they showed Jamie Lee Curtis the script that she decided to do it.
Really? So she's back?
Yeah, she's back in this one, too. And they've already given us the setup how Michael stayed alive. Because remember, when they left him, he was burning. Yeah, he was burning.
She was ready for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was waiting for him. So here.
But have you seen the trailer for it yet? It shows him in the back of the pickup, and she starts screaming, No, because the
'Cause
fire
he's-
truck's heading that way
Yeah.
to the house. Yeah, don't do this. Yeah, I thought it was great.
No.
I loved it.
I'll tell you, here's a fun little geeky fact about Jamie Lee Curtis. You know, she's so famous, she probably doesn't want to be recognized when she goes out. She just wants to get out and have fun, right?
Yeah.
So her and her family, I guess, are big World of Warcraft fans.
Yeah.
She goes to World of Warcraft conventions in cosplay and will wander around dressed up like a... So nobody will recognize her. That way she gets to
Does her
enjoy.
husband go with her
Yeah,
too?
like it's a family thing. Yeah.
But he's the guy that does all the pseudo documentaries. He did Spinal Tap and everything.
Oh, is that her husband?
yeah, that's
I didn't
her
realize
husband.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I can't
I'll
remember.
come up with it. I'll have it before we leave the podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
Best in
All right.
show.
Okay, you want me to give number 3?
Yeah, sure. Go
Okay,
ahead.
Dune.
Dune, going to be a great movie.
That one you have to see on the big screen.
Yeah, I agree.
Must.
That's a big screen movie if you can do it. That was my number 4 from last year.
Okay.
So most people know Dune as the was it David Lynch?
Yeah.
Yeah, was it Lynch made the 80s movie?
Kyle MacLachlan.
And then Sting was running around in his underwear. Yeah, had the fat guy floating around with pimples. That's
that was before Big Fat B.
right. So what? Big fat what?
Yeah, remember from Austin Powers.
Oh, right.
Get in my
get in my belly. Yeah, I want you in my belly. And wouldn't it be great if the guy from the 80s had talked in that accent?
Oh, yeah.
Take
It'd have
out
been
the
great.
Atreides. I want them in my belly. So, anyway, it's going to be great. People just... I mean, I like the 80s Dune movie, but it's not a good reflection of what the Dune novel was, in my opinion.
No, not even close.
It's there's elements, but, check it out. Give it a shot. I personally think because as complex and deep as Dune is, it would work better as one of these ongoing TV series they do on HBO Max
I don't know
or
why
something.
they don't do HBO doesn't do
I don't
it.
know.
But
I think it would work better that way.
just like The Stand.
Yep.
They should do that the same way.
Yeah, I think The Stand will be an ongoing series, but I think the current miniseries is like 10 episodes, which is not bad. That gives it
still
room
not
to breathe.
enough.
Yeah.
Still not enough.
Oh, and then Kenneth Wallace just posted on the Mevo, the Facebook video.
Yeah.
So there was a TV movie of Dune on the Sci-Fi Channel. That's true. There was a miniseries of Dune and the follow-up to Dune, I think, which covered the next 2 novels. They breathed more than the movie.
Children of Dune and all that.
They were done well, but it's just so hard to capture everything. But yeah, you're right, Kenneth. So, all right. So that was your number 4. Your number 4 is Halloween Kills. My number
3
4
is
was
Dune.
Old. And your number 3 is Dune.
What's your number 3?
My number 3, let me speak into the microphone as if I know what I'm doing, is The Suicide Squad, not Suicide
The new
Squad.
one. Okay, it's coming out.
The Suicide Squad, which I like the idea of the Suicide Squad anyway. You take a bunch of super criminals, put bombs in their heads and say, do what we say. So they have to work together.
Or blow your head off.
Yeah. The first one I didn't hate, but I was like, they need to try it again. And now you got James Gunn, the guy behind Guardians of the Galaxy,
doing
involved. And I mean, so far he's shown he's really good at ensembles of odd characters. And so I'm really looking forward to see what they do with this.
Yeah, we will talk about our top 3 when we come back. And if you know anything about me, you should be able to, our top 2, in fact, because we gave us our 3rd.
Yeah.
So we got 2 and 1. We'll do that when we come back here on the Dave Elswick Show.
Okay, that's a great place to do some quick show notes. Once again, thanks so much for listening to Shane Plays Geek Talk. I really appreciate it. The notes and links for any episode of Shane Plays Geek Talk, which has more information or links or whatever on any given episode, if you want to go a little deeper, can always be found on the blog at shaneplays.com. That's ShanePlays.com. Our last show is on the blog, among the other places that it goes out. That's episode 235, The Elusive Shift, How Role-Playing Games Forge Their Identity, with John Peterson. John's always a great guest. He's the best tabletop RPG and wargaming scholar out there. His books are great. Go check that episode out. If you're into the history of games, you will not regret it one bit. The podcast does go out on the blog at shaneplays.com, on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Podbean, Amazon Music, YouTube, and more. Yes, I do put it on YouTube, but it's just the audio. Shane Plays is also carried on Krypton Radio. Krypton Radio is sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. KryptonRadio.com. If you'd like to support Shane Plays Geek Talk, there's a couple of ways you can do that. One, of course, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/ShanePlays. I also do some affiliate links and that sort of thing, and you can follow one of two or both if you feel like it. I have two Twitter accounts. One is Shane Plays, ShanePlays, and the other one is Shane Plays PR. And the PR account is just the announcements, like stuff just very much related to the show or certain news items and affiliate links and things like that of software and movies and comic books and ebooks and stuff that you can get a really great deal on through Humble Bundle and other affiliate type services. And then Shane Plays is everything. I put all my thoughts, whatever. If you want everything that comes through my fevered little fingers into the keyboard, then you want to follow Shane Plays. If you just want the meat and potatoes, it's Shane Plays PR. But either way, it can help you and help me. Here's a couple of examples of stuff I put out recently. The Epic Game Store gives away free games all the time, every week, and I always post those. As of right now, Star Wars Battlefront 2 Celebration Edition is free on the Epic Game Store. The Humble Store recently gave away free copies of a game called Bomber Crew. And then here's some Humble Bundles that you can get a great deal on stuff. You have the Attack on Titan Final Season manga by Kodansha USA. And then there's another Humble Bundle for a lot of front-end web development books and resources. And there's another one for a 3D printable miniatures for board games and wargaming bundle. So that's just a few examples of some really cool stuff you can get either for free or at a great price, and it helps me out a little bit as well. Last but never least, I want to mention advertising partner Cursova Magazine, and they are currently doing their 5th anniversary issue on Kickstarter, and that features all the usual great pulp fiction and adventure fictions, sword and sorcery and sci-fi that they always do with great cover art, really nice cover art. But this particular 5th edition, or not 5th edition, the 5th anniversary issue that's currently on Kickstarter, just search for Cursova, that's Cirsova. Search for Cursova the 5th anniversary issue on Kickstarter, and it's featuring the beginning of the serialization of Wild Stars 5 by Michael Tierney. It's got Paul O'Connor's sword and sorcery comic Bad Axe, Jim Bryfogel's Mongoose and Meerkat, Robert Zoltan's Rogues of Mirth, and more. So check that out. I love my advertising relationship with Cursova, and they are definitely carrying the torch for the exciting pulp fiction magazines of old. All right, that's it. Thanks again for listening, and we'll get back to the top 5 most anticipated geek movies with my friend and Arkansas radio legend, Dave Elswick.
Back with you, and I got to tell you, I put my top 5 together, but I left out a couple. Can we talk about those two?
You want to do your honorable mentions?
Yeah, I want to do those. Okay.
Yeah.
MI7.
Which one?
MI7.
MI7.
Mission Impossible 7.
Those are always fun.
Well, Rebecca Ferguson is back. What's her name? Haley Ashley is in it, and she was from, of course, Captain America. And
that's you talking
Haley
about
Atwell?
Yeah, Atwell, yeah.
There's Heidi.
Yeah.
Heidi, I asked earlier and you didn't hear me. You've been here for like 6-7 months now. Have you figured out how to keep him in control yet?
No.
No. Okay, that's a simple answer. Dave.
Here it is. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Isn't that right, Heidi? That's just the way I am. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I always try to tell people Dave is like your favorite uncle who is both a saint and the dirty guy in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Yeah.
All right, so MI7, I'm looking forward to that.
That's an honorable mention. All right.
And Quiet Place 2, I'm really looking forward to that. And a guilty pleasure, because I loved this comic book when it came out in the early 70s,
sure.
Mortibus.
Yeah, you talk about, that's got Jared Leto.
Yeah,
as
he looks great.
Marvel's favorite vampire.
Oh, he looks good.
Yeah, Morbius is, in the comics, I don't know how they'll handle it in the movies, but in the comics, he was kind of created, he was turned into a vampire by like a lab or,
he's trying to cure
chemicals.
his disease.
Yeah, he wasn't bitten by Dracula or anything, but he's basically a vampire. Morbius, the living vampire.
Oh, it's so great. There's a scene in the trailer that I really got into where it showed him standing on like this cylinder and all these bats are going around him and biting him. It's crazy.
He's always been one of those characters that has a big following in Marvel.
Yeah.
I like him. So, I considered it, but it's not. I'm not big enough on it that it made my list, but I'll definitely check it out.
All right, good.
So those are your honorable mentions.
You want me to just give 2 and 1 for you, and then you can give 2 and 1 since we're running out of time?
If you want to, yeah.
Yeah, we're running out of time. Number 2, Top Gun, Maverick.
Okay, that's your number 2?
Yep. And then number 1 is a tie.
Oh.
Godzilla versus King Kong and Die Another Day.
All right. Godzilla versus Kong and Die Another Day, which, of course, we mentioned earlier.
The last Bond movie with Craig.
Yeah.
And now that Sean Connery has died, Craig in my list is number 1 as
He's
Bond.
an excellent Bond. I like Daniel Craig. They kind of took it back more to the essence of what Bond is from the novels.
Been really, really good.
Especially Casino Royale. So my number 2 is The Matrix 4. I've got to see and that's a big screen kind of movie.
Yeah, I agree.
I've got to see what they're going to do with The Matrix 4. That's going to release.
You know who I'm looking forward to seeing on the big screen again?
Who's that?
Carrie Fisher. Or Carrie Moss.
Carrie Moss, yeah.
Not Carrie Fisher. Carrie Moss.
We've seen Carrie Fisher on the screen again due to the magic of
CGI
technology. So The Matrix 4 is supposed to release December 22nd, 2021. It's only got one of the Wachowskis this time. It's not both Wachowskis. So I don't know.
Who are both women now?
Yeah, they're the Wachowski brothers, then the Wachowski sisters. I don't know. All I know is one of the Wachowskis is involved.
It makes me laugh.
I really know nothing about it, but The Matrix I got to see on the big screen. That is a sensory kind of movie.
Oh, yeah.
And then my number 1 is, for me, this one's a no-brainer. Anytime Spider-Man's on the big screen, and they've been doing a really good job with the last 2 Spider-Man movies, is Untitled Spider-Man sequel. I know that's an exciting title. And that's supposed to release December 17, 2021. And there's rumors, we don't know for sure, but there's rumors that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are going to be in there as their Spider-Man.
Time travel stuff.
As their Spider-Man as well. My honorable mentions, Dave.
Yes.
I only have one, and that's The Eternals. And that's another Marvel movie.
That looks pretty good.
And that one is, last year I put Black Widow in, because as my honorable mention, because I wanted to see what they're going to do with Marvel Phase 4 movies. Eternals, same way. It's an interesting property. It's not one of the more well-known Marvel properties. It's a team of superheroes / sort of augmented gods with a little G that Jack Kirby came up with. And so I'm curious to see what they do with it. But they're not a traditional superhero team. They're more like the Inhumans or something. So I'm curious to see what they do with it.
All right.
So there we go.
That's the one you're looking forward to.
Yeah, that's my honorable mention.
Now, there's one that they say they'll try to get out by Christmas time because they want to get it up for the Oscars. But I'm wondering, they're filming it right now, is Killers of the Flower Moon. Familiar with that? Martin Scorsese with Leonardo DiCaprio and what's his name that went nuts in The Godfather. Played Godfather too. Played Don Corleone.
Yeah, I can imagine. De Niro.
Yes, and see, I got problems with De Niro because he just went so bonkers over the last 4 years. But the bottom line is, when Scorsese gets behind the camera, I'm always interested to see what. Well,
The Irishman was amazing.
Yeah,
did you see it on Netflix?
I have seen it. Yeah.
I loved it, and I liked it a lot.
And you know what? I was not a DiCaprio fan until the last maybe 10 years.
Yeah,
The Aviator.
He's a great actor.
Wolf of Wall Street,
which I haven't seen.
Which is if get ready.
Well, he just got ranked as the actor that said F in a movie the most. And it was
really?
That movie.
Oh, really?
Over 100 times he drops the F bomb, evidently.
Anyway, I think, and then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was just fantastic.
Such a good movie. Yeah, that's a great one.
So I've become a good DiCaprio fan.
No, he's great. I knew he was going to be amazing.
We can go all the way back to Gilbert Grape.
Gilbert Grape. When I saw him in Gilbert Grape, I was like, this kid is either really, has mental problems or is an amazing actor.
He's an amazing actor.
He's an amazing actor, yeah.
course, then there were the times that he was on Facts of Life.
Was he? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Facts of Life. But anyway, yeah, that's. I'm looking forward to that. When this is about a serial killer
Yeah.
that kills Native Americans.
Huh.
And I'm sure
That's a different thing for Scorsese.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Scorsese's kind of homage to the Native Americans.
Yeah.
And what the white man did to them. But
we'll see.
I'm sure that's what he'll be
making up for a little
time.
guilt that what people did before he was born.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to do that now. And then Quiet Place 2. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be good. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. That
should be
almost
good,
made my
too.
list. I'll tell you, I like those movies, and it led me to go read The Demonologist, because those movies are based on Ed and Elizabeth Warren,
Yes.
who were real life. They would really go in and try to help people.
Yeah.
Go read The Demonologist, and I'm just going to say, for the sake of argument, let's just say the book's true.
Yeah.
It blows anything you see in those movies away. And these guys really, they get criticism saying they were glory hounds or whatever. It seems like they really just tried to help people. And, they didn't try to get rich off of it or anything like that. And they wanted to educate people that, don't mess with this dark stuff. There's really evil crap out there.
Well, they still have all that stuff.
Yeah, the collection.
What is it? Their cousin that keeps it?
I'm not sure.
He had a show on, I don't know if it's the Travel Channel now or
one
whatever.
Of those things, yeah.
But, he's got Annabelle and stuff.
Well, at one time, I don't know if they still do, at one time they brought in a Catholic priest once a month to bless the collection.
Try to keep it under control.
And that collection, according to the book, caused them problems in their house.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it causes problems in the movies now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're showing how they can't control the evil that's contained within that room.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right, in the movie. Right. Yeah.
It's kind of
Annabelle
kind of
gets out in the
interesting.
second one, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. I like, they're the ones that started it all basically with Amityville. They were involved with that.
Right. They were involved with that. They were involved with
the pig guy and all that stuff.
Yep. And that's the most controversial one. There, people saying it wasn't true. I don't know. But the book is a fascinating read. The Demonologist. Check it out.
Is that what it's called?
It's an autobiography.
It seems there was a 2-hour special they did. I don't know if Netflix has it. It's about their life.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. She just passed away, of course, last year.
Right. Well, the thing with the reason it's called The Demonologist, he's like, these aren't ghosts. He's like, we don't mess with ghosts. We mess with demons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe in demons.
Yeah. Well, if you believe in God and the Bible
I think
and angels,
that if you're
you got to believe
Christian,
in
you
demons.
better believe
right.
in it.
It's all
a third
in
of
the
the angels. What can I say?
Yeah, right.
So anyway, it's kind of interesting. Okay, so I went and saw a movie last night. I think that you'll like it. Liam Neeson has had 2 good movies come out this year. He had The Honest Thief, which was a fun movie, and then the one that opened last night, The Marksman, about a former Marine. I'm going to tell you what, he plays Clint Eastwood because Liam Neeson he's my age. He's 68. All right, so he's getting tired of playing the action heroes.
Right.
But he finds himself in these movies that have action scenes,
because
so he's
they
so
sell
good at it.
in them.
Yeah, he's so good at it.
Yeah.
And this movie's really good about a kid and mother trying to escape from the cartel, killed his uncle. She's run with the money. She ends up getting killed, and it's Liam Neeson and the boy on the road, taking a road trip, trying to keep away from the cartel people. It's good.
Sounds good.
It's fun. It's a fun movie. But it's really good because it talks about honor and about character and things of that nature. And it's really good.
Well, Dave, as always, it's been a pleasure.
Go see it. Go see that movie.
I will.
Seriously.
The Marksman.
Go see it. The Marksman. With Liam Neeson. And if you're going to see it because Lagatha is in it, from the Vikings, a small part.
A very small.
Yeah,
All right.
just,
just be aware.
It's about Liam and the boy. That's
All
what
right.
it's about. We're out of time. Thank you so much, Shane, for coming in.
Always
It's
a pleasure, man.
always a pleasure. We'll do this next month for
year,
sure.
It's an annual.
Yeah, no. We're going to do it next month again. Well, not this.
Oh, talk about
particular,
movies and stuff.
but movies
Geeky,
and
yeah,
stuff. Get
I'll
you in
come
here
in.
with Tim
Yeah.
Lim and Mark Pellegrini
That'd be
and all
fun.
the rest of them.
Yeah.
All right. We got to get out of here. You can listen to this on Shane's podcast. Quickly, where do they go?
ShanePlays.com.
All right. ShanePlays.com.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.
And yes, that is a wrap for this episode. Thanks so much to Dave. I always love doing that. Really look forward to doing this show every year. And then, of course, going back and seeing how the previous picks worked out. Let's get on out of here with the bad joke that I always like to drop on my listeners. And I take no responsibility for any mental damage or cruelty. Here we go. What did Yoda say when he saw himself in 4K? HDMI. Yeah, it's terrible. It's supposed to be terrible. It's just kind of how it goes. Anyway, thanks again for listening, and we will catch you next time on Shane Plays Geek Talk.
Shane Plays Radio is blessed to have sponsors, and we appreciate them very much. However, did you know that you can also support the show as an individual for as little as $1 an episode? Simply go to patreon.com/ShanePlays.